Hey, Lowco Hoops fans, welcome to another edition of the Lowco Hoops Report Friday night live show tonight. Wes, feels like back in football season, but we're talking hoops now, so it's great to bring this live recap show vibe over to the hoops world, and we're doing it with the grind with the wrestlers as well, and I think this is the way forward. I love what's happening right here where people can log in and get the results, get the analysis instantly almost. As soon as we get home from the games, we're jumping on, letting you know what's happening. And if you're out in the gyms that we are not in and you want to get in here and tell us what you saw, hit us in the comments. Let us know that you want to be a correspondent because we want more people out in the gyms letting us know what's happening out there with eyes and ears. I saw some good ones. I saw the end of the JP2 Patrick Henry girls game. JP2 won that one pretty comfortably, 44-28. Mahoney had 17, 11 rebounds and 6 blocks. Gracie Henderson with 12 points, all on trays. That's her jam. Lillian Lucas with 13 for Patrick Henry. Saw some Patrick Henry boys, only elbow bumps and fist bumps for those fellas because they had the sickness running through the squad. They did not have enough to play the boys game. So I was not getting too close to those guys. Made sure to go wash my hands. But then I got to see Hilton Head Prep boys rally for a really gritty 53-40 win over Buford Academy. I was impressed. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit more later. I won't get too deep into it right now. But BA gave them all they had, man. And Hilton Head Prep just wore them down in the fourth quarter and started getting open looks, and they didn't miss and really took advantage down the stretch. So it was a really good basketball game, though. Really, really good matchup.
Yeah, it's
I saw
classic Hilton Head
Buford.
Prep. They will
Yeah,
lull you to sleep at the end of the game, and we'll just pick it
yeah, and
apart.
I want to dive into that a little bit more in depth later in the show after we kind of dispense with what scores we have, and then we'll report more as we get them through the night. Bluffton girls won big at Buford. It was either 62 to 8 or 64 to 8 or 62 to 10. I'm not sure. It was lopsided. But the Buford boys got the revenge. You saw
Yeah,
Bluffton win that one in the Den. The Eagles get
convincingly.
it done in the nest, 55-40. We'll queue up the highlights here in a little bit and probably get to hang out with Javon and Tristan who are over there. And then you saw kind of a downer. I think we were excited
Yeah,
for that game. Hammond and Hilton Head Christian, but
I
Hilton Head Christian was
was, I
shorthanded, and it
was,
kind of
and
changed the dynamic.
it was a stinker in the second half for the Hilton Head Christian
Yeah.
Academy team. Just they couldn't find their shot, just weren't able to knock down some early in that second half, and
Well, they
Camden
were
Cassidy.
down both Caden Turner and
Yeah,
Elijah
that
White, right?
hurts.
Which
Yeah, they
that
didn't have
changes the
either, so
dynamic
certainly you
entirely.
take that into account when you just don't have those prolific guys on the court. It kind of limits what you can do. And so we saw a lot of Harry Skinner. We saw a lot of Isaiah Anderson down low. He was able to make an impact, but I mean, it just wasn't the high end talents that we've seen most nights for Lake Christian when you don't have Elijah White out there on the court alongside Caden Turner. So certainly missing a lot there with those two. But Hammond certainly came to play. They were hitting some shots from beyond the arc and really controlling the tempo, controlling the possession, passing the ball well. And really, once they got a lead, they kind of sat on the ball and tried to drag out possessions, which not a bad play by them. But Hilton and Chris Cummings just able to cut in and really get it going in that second half. But Isaiah Anderson, good to see him get into the double digits in that game with 10 points. And then Skinner, just when that shot doesn't come down or go down in the basket, certainly it's tough to see when you don't have those other guys who are reliable down low, especially like an Elijah White who can make plays and find some open players and make some close range shots of his own. So tough one for HHCA, but certainly shorthanded. They put on a solid fight in that fourth quarter to make it a little respectful. Although Hammond was the better team in that game, but they will
Well,
wait
like
after
like
this
you
game.
said, the thing is, like most nights they can afford for Harry to not
Yeah,
have his shot because he can just go into distributor mode and he can set guys up, he can drive and kick. But if he doesn't have his shot and he doesn't have his next two best scoring options with
yeah,
him, then that becomes an issue. So I don't think we learned much from this really. I mean, that's not
you just
who
throw
they
it
are.
up.
Um, So I don't think that means excuse me, a whole lot. My Funyuns, my pre-show Funyuns are getting me. But Hilton Head Prep girls won big, 74-25. Courtney Campbell dominated, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 8 steals. One of the Helms, which Helms was that? Phoebe with 18 rebounds and 6 points. They got two Helms, right? So that's. I mean, we thought that was an interesting matchup. I think we both thought Courtney would probably get the better of Kamira, and not an indictment on Kamira. Courtney might be the best girls player in the
Yeah.
area, when you break it down, if you put them head up. But um, and she did, and that's the thing with BA. They just don't have the secondary options they've had in the past. Right now, they're going to develop those, and that's what this early part of the season is about: is trying to find those complementary pieces to what you knew you had coming back. And Hilton Prep has found some for Courtney Campbell. The Helms girls are doing yeoman's work. They're buying into Coach Phil Hartman. You know what he wants to do. They're playing tough nosed defense and getting after it. And I've been really
Well,
impressed with that team.
I think what you mentioned yesterday while we're previewing this game was which supporting cast is going to really step up,
Yeah.
and it was those Helm sisters for Hilton Head Prep who led the way, and this was dominant. I mean, really dominant. I'm impressed. 74 points in a girls' game. That's that's something I haven't seen from Hilton Head Prep program in a while.
Right.
I've seen
It's
years
been a
where
minute.
they like in the 20s, like 74
Well, and
points.
more
That's
importantly, they had 74 and Courtney didn't have 60. She had
yeah,
27. Like that's really
yeah. So
encouraging. Really,
that's
really
huge.
encouraging for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's big time. Still looking for some other scores out there, but we do have a couple boys scores. Hampton County got Battery Creek 56-32, so that ends the 3-game winning streak for Battery Creek. That was really impressive, but just kind of ran out of gas tonight. CJ said they couldn't get much going on offense, which Hampton County has that effect on you. They're so long and so quick, and they close out on the perimeter really well. They help over on defense, so I'm not, I'm a little surprised they got them by 24, but I think Battery Creek was kind of due to catch
Yeah.
their breath for a night, and this was a bad night for it. But that's a nice bounce back win for Buford, 55-40 over
Very.
Bluffton. Looking forward to talking with Javon and Tristan a little bit more about that one in a bit. But if you'd like, we can go ahead and watch those boys' highlights. We got them ready to go. Let's watch the highlights from Bluffton Buford boys. How about that? From Buford's own. Got Thomas Erdell back on the call and
He
back
brought the
from
good luck for his
college.
Eagles. No wonder Buford High won tonight. He was Thomas was back on the
Ooh,
call.
swatted. That was Carnell. We had Carnell on
Cardinal
last
Warren.
night.
Hey, love to see that.
Trying to see the screen better. My old age. Here we go.
I don't see these numbers very well, but try to make it
Yeah, I
out.
just got it on my big screen. That's Micaiah. Wait, who is it? Who am I looking at? That was Micaiah Hamilton. That
Oh,
was
man.
Samari who had that swat earlier. I just figured out the Bobcats are in black. Took me a minute. There's Mari. Ooh, tipped
Nice
up and
tip in.
in. Nice work. Nice work.
Yeah,
All right.
Boston with a big lead early. Buford
Yeah,
catching
Buford
up
was
to
able to
with
come back. Ooh. Splat. Man, if Blackman's going to stretch the defense and hit shots like that, that's going to be
yeah,
pretty dangerous for Buford. But
yeah.
yeah, that's on the wrong side. There we go. Yeah, so Bluffton with a big lead early, but Eagles kept plugging. Oh, Samari. You just can't replace athleticism. He's just incredibly athletic. Oh, nice lob inside.
Yes. And there's Javon.
Here's Vaughn. The devil. What's up, bro? We're checking out your highlights.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Nice rally for the Eagles in the second half,
Yeah,
huh?
good stuff there
Or
from the
not just
Yeah,
in the
Eagles.
second half, but after a slow start.
yeah, slow start, man, and you'll see once that third quarter hit, about into that third quarter hits, man, in about a span of about 3 minutes, they hit like 5 threes, man.
Woo. Mari's pouring them in.
Mm-hmm.
I got a comment. Who we got in the comments? Oh, it's showing us when people join. In
What
the
to do
comments
for
now. That's
to
kinda cool.
adjust and kind of what they do differently in this game compared to what we saw earlier in the week against Bluffton at Bluffton.
Well, I wouldn't be able to answer that question because I didn't get to see
He
Bluffton
wasn't there.
Yeah. But
You'll have to watch
I'll
the
tell
highlights and tell us, Wes.
Yeah.
But what they do well,
for,
Jay. Ooh.
Tonight I think they were just offensive rebounding. Before I get to
they did struggle on the glass.
obvious.
They did struggle on the glass in that Bluffton
Oh,
game. So.
Looks like Mari went like Superman mode tonight too.
Yeah, he had 2 blocks.
Beautiful
in the first half.
We saw one of them a while ago.
So he had 2 in the first half, and then he went Superman at the end of the third, end of the fourth. So in total, as a team, in a span of about 3 minutes, they hit 5 threes. Samari hit 3 of them.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So
knocking down some mid-range
Jays. Hot from beyond the arc.
Hitting shots, man. Those home rims were nice tonight. They needed to get back home.
Yeah,
here
I
it goes.
think that was...
This is the start right here. Look at the time. Count the threes.
My bang, 113 in the third. That's what Hilton Head Prep did to BA tonight too. They started getting open outside on the perimeter, and they didn't miss. Oh, they're gonna hit another one before the quarter, huh?
That's nice. So about 2 to 3 minutes here.
That's a big
so
bucket.
You got 2 in the final about minute and a half.
Yeah, minute 13.
Didn't mean to add that part in there. That's a little extra. I was getting the scoreboard fixed.
Yeah. Oops, forgot to delete that clip. Mari again. Bang.
Wow. Yeah, this is something we did not see.
You should have dished that one off. Should have dished that one off.
But
seeing that's the glass.
Yeah, getting on the glass. Man, your post-game highlights are clutch, bro. Oh, Mari. Oh, that was way out. That was
just look. It's not even 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. I think there's one more. You got Cleckley.
Yeah, that's wow.
There's Cleckley right there. Yeah.
Bang.
So that's 5 in like 4 minutes.
5, yeah.
And then
Red
started moving.
Oh, what a finish. Dude, he can get it to the rim from some weird angles, bro. That is so good. That is just so good. That is so good.
But yeah.
He does some silly stuff at times, but you're okay with it because he'll do things like that. And it's like you gotta take both, like
Chaplin was the only one that hit. I think Chaplin was the only one that hit from deep for Bluffton. I think so. That's the differential.
Yeah, because they were banging from 3 the other night.
Yeah, so if that was the case, they switched.
Up from 3.
Yeah, if that would make the difference, they switched up. Bluffton, Beeford knocked him down. Bluffton, only person knocked down was Chaplin. I think he had 3 on the night. I think he was like 3 or 7.
Yeah, it can turn quickly if those threes go the other way, and it snowballs in a hurry. So.
But yeah,
that's what changed everything at BA.
Yeah.
It was all BA had the lead at halftime because they were nailing threes. Gonzalez was on fire, and then in the second half, it was tight. 2-point game for BA going to the fourth, and then Hilton Head Prep just got red hot from 3, and lit it up and won by 13. But I mean, it was a battle. Yeah, BA hit 4 threes in the first half, 3 of them by Zeke. They only made 1 in the second half. Hilton Head Prep made. Oh, that's the old one. That was a good game, though. That was a good game, though.
But offensive rebounding was it. I think before that transition from the third to the fourth quarter, Buford was kind of off shooting, but was still close. You know what I'm saying? They were in 2 to 3 points.
Yeah.
But they were able to technically still get buckets because there was multiple possessions where Buford got 3 shots off because they just kept getting the offensive rebound.
It was
and
certainly different than what I saw.
I'll do it. Extra possessions always help.
And then finally they just started falling, and they didn't need it, and that's when they started to pull away a little bit.
How fun is it to watch Samari Bonds out there? I mean, you've seen him a lot during football season. You get to see him at the end of last year, powering that Eagles team in the playoffs with a couple of big defensive plays, and coming up clutch with some buckets as well. But how fun is it to watch the energy of Samari Bonds? How does that elevate the rest of the team when he's on his game?
Oh man, it's amazing. We were talking to Thomas. I was talking to Thomas during the stream a little bit, and I said, man, listen, the amount of deflections, because me and Tristan looked at the stats during that meeting yesterday, and he's top in the state in deflections. Now I know every team doesn't use their huddle and max preps appropriately, but based off what was on there, Samari's top in the state in deflections, so not necessarily steals, but just getting his hands in the way.
Definitely believe that.
Yeah, and I was like,
Wes, you know that Sharon Versup, the legendary Purdue coach who's now at USCB, the women's coach, she believes wholeheartedly, and so does Fudala, that deflections are as important as steals because they disrupt the offense so much. You have to reset after a deflection. So even if you don't, now more so at the college level because you've got a shot clock involved, and so you knock that ball away, they got to reset the offense. It starts getting anxious real quick.
Takes time away.
Even at the high school level, it just disrupts, and people get impatient and try to force things.
It's in the way. And I said, shit, I was joking with Thomas. I said, man, I know Libran's never going to let it happen because that's his quarterback. But, man, I'd like to see Samari at safety, man. The way he gets after it in basketball, man, dude, I would love to see him at safety, dog.
I would, too. I think he would be a dog. And, that could be his long-term future. But
speaking of football,
he can do whatever he wants to do.
Lamb. Congratulations to Adrian Lamb, all state for 3A, only Buford rep for Class 3. Yeah. Congratulations to Adrian Lamb.
And while we're shouting them out, we better get them all. Better get them all.
Yeah, I know him and KJ for sure were on there.
Yeah.
Thomas
Yeah, Thomas was looking up some information and stuff before the game. I think he checked his Twitter and saw they released the list or something.
Yeah, I
Adrian and KJ
got him. All right, here we go. Shai Thompson, Jeremiah Curry, Adrian Lamb, Kayvon Chisholm, Mandrell Sanders, Zion Dobson, and Jalen Singletary, Bradford Thompson, and KJ Chisholm, all first teamers. Honorable mentions: Brandon Bryant, Caleb Spengler, Thompson May, Hudson Tanner, Connor Wendell, Gage Duncan, Tanner Macy, Chamber Eldridge, Nathan Apey, William Bonneville, AJ Hamilton, Carnell Warren, Troy Temko, Jason Jose, Cameron Mitchell, Cody Seegers, and Xavier Garvin. That is a haul for the Loco. That's a lot more names.
4A, honorable mention. My God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to it about not every coach is a member. Yeah, I know. He had a pretty good year.
I am surprised there were so few Buford. No honorable mention Buford players.
One thing, that's what I was going to say, is I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a situation where you nominate, then you get that gives you a leg up to get it. And I just think some coaches are way more aggressive about nominations than others, and you wonder if some schools even nominated, because there's a couple guys that you're like, man, if they nominated him, he was pretty good, and you just wonder, some schools didn't have any, and that seems a little odd. But hey, we've got Thomas Odell joining us. Rivera, I don't know. I just did our coverage area, so I didn't check that, but I can up. What's up, dude?
He's a career
Good to hear your voice again on the stream tonight. What'd you think of those Buford Eagles? It's a little different look than last year.
Man, I was telling Javon, just such a different look from last year. They lost Dennison, McLeod Rochelle, Arthur Singleton, Sully Gay transferred, but Coach Huff, always
everybody
great coach, getting the boys coached up, and Samari Bonds, it's great to see his development from last year. The sixth man coming off the bench to now he's the star for this Eagles team. And I was telling Vaughn, right as the game started, obviously, Bonds can get it done offensively, but they need more guys to step up. And one of those people that I highlighted was Guerin, and that's why I chopped in the chat. He had a career game. He probably had at least 10 or 12 points, and great shooting night for him.
Yeah,
I saw him knock down a couple mid-range J's that were huge.
Yep.
Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah. If those shots are falling from some others, that's going to be the key for Buford, because Samari is a great, example setter for this team, and certainly brings a lot of energy in scoring when he's able to get things going. But to have some other guys hit some jumpers against a team that that Bluffton just lost to a couple days ago, that's great to see, and certainly puts them in the right direction. But Thomas, how are you doing? Tell me about how your semester went, and how cool it is to be back here in the Lowco.
I'm good, thank you. My semester was really good. I haven't got my finals grade back yet, so for the government, but hopefully, I got a good grade on that, and if that turns out well, I'll have all A's. I was telling Vaughn, going to all the football games has been great. Just disappointing our season ended early, sadly. Those darn Tigers got us.
Man.
Man. But Justin, your Tigers got us as
well. They got you in
I
basketball too. Yeah. Our Tigers did.
I watched that men's game. That was a great game. But we destroyed them in women. So, but I talked about it on the broadcast because once the girls' game, unfortunately for Buford, got such a big lead, we just kind of had to fill the space. So he was asking me about that, and I was able to go to my first women's basketball game. We're a women's basketball school, so that's fun. And then I went to my first men's game, and we beat Notre Dame. So just excited to continue to go to basketball games. And then I was telling them I'm really excited for baseball season because I've never been to Elmhurst Park yet. So I'm excited.
I haven't either. I've got to take some boys up there this year because it's a beautiful place. I haven't been there either for a game, so need to get up there, and we'll have to come say hi. But you boys want to watch these girls' highlights? Not to clown on Buford, but we got to give Bluffton some love because they're pretty good. Let's check them out. Let's see what we got.
The thing I will say was most impressive about Bluffton is, and we highlighted this on the broadcast, me and Javon, they only have 7 players, 2 bench players. So the fact that they were able just to go play all game and they never let up, they kept their foot on the gas the whole time. So it's just very impressive.
Do you think this Bluffton team is starting to maybe turn the corner a bit from what we saw, heading into this year, and just seeing? I mean, I just don't think Bluffton was as consistent as I wanted them to be last year, but I think they're really starting to gel together. Obviously, they're playing opponents that aren't going to be as strong as what they'll see later on, but I do think that this Bluffton team, I think some of the supporting, Takoya's really started to step up her game, but you're seeing a lot more from some others too. And Amira Brown appears to be someone else who could fit into that role. Who else stood out for you besides Hayward this game?
You just mentioned Amira Brown. Definitely her in this game.
She's a dog.
Javon, I'm sure you would agree with that as well. We saw her knock down a ton of shots. And Wes, you were talking about your expectations for this Bluffton team. We did not get to witness them last year. We were just only covering Buford games, and they did not play Buford last year. But they're 6-1 now in the season, according to if their Max Preps is correct. It said they were 5-1 coming in. So just the fact that they have 6 wins, only 1 loss.
Their only loss was to a very good military magnet team.
With that,
number one team in 1A, and they were down Amira Brown and Jelena Mosley for that game because they were 6. So they were really shorthanded against military magnet. I don't think that was really indicative of much. I think they're a quality team. They don't have a lot of depth though, like you mentioned. So even when they're fully healthy, the bench is short. So if they get key people in foul trouble, they'll be in trouble. So postseason's going to be tricky. You just can't be aggressive if they're calling it tight and things like that. They'll have to adjust to that. But I think they're a really quality squad.
Well, what I saw, what we did see, and we talked about it for a moment, is that while they were up, they took some time, and obviously you can't do a full sub. And we were talking about how they were still playing aggressive, and I was like, well, you got to think about things like conditioning, and what I'm saying, things like that. These are the girls they're riding with. They're going to have to play a full 32 minutes. You hear about those stories from teams with bigger depth. You know what I'm saying? And they took the starters out after the first half because they were up by 20. And then they
never played a full game. Yeah, like they haven't played a full game all season long. No, you're right. And I think the other thing that's important to remember is like you got to train kids. Like if you want kids to be dogs, you got to train them to be dogs all the time. Like when you step on the court, you don't give less than max effort. When you step on the baseball field, you don't give less than max effort. It's got to be full effort all the time. And so then you can't just tell them to go easy. Like you pull off the press and stuff, but like if you get a steal, you better take it to the hoop and finish it because you only get so many chances to do that in live action, and you can't just pass them up. So, I think you have to keep the in picture, and you got to be good sports about it. Obviously, you don't want to be pressing and things like that, but you got to let your kids play and continue to develop because that's why they're out there.
Right.
Yeah. And if we don't get an opportunity to cut, well, we do have another game for them on the schedule. But it'll be interesting to see. They were working McMahon and Duffy. They were working trying to get them in the mid range. They had some plays where they had them run from the other side, turn around, spot up like right there. They ran a couple of those.
They've been running some to try to get them spotted up for those mid-range Jays, and they're knocking them down. And if they can get that going, that can be lethal. Sequoia and Amira can drive and kick all day. There it is again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little funky right now, but she's knocking them in.
Yeah, like I said, it's a little funky, but they were working it though. They were working it, and I was excited to see Washington play tonight because I went to that. I went to that Earl Campbell on the final day. I meant to go all weekend, but I didn't get out there to the final day. And she got in some foul trouble early, and looked like she had a little bit of a kind of attitude or something like that, a little feisty. But I was able to.
She is a little feisty. She comes by on
she's a little feisty. Yeah. She had some words in there, and they had to calm her down during the tournament. But I was excited to see her play, and what I'm saying, because I felt like she could have been a dominant player with the kind of attitude that she brings. And I was excited to see her in. She got excited when Coach Jones kind of did a complete sub for the backups, and she turned around and ran the floor, and I was like, she knows what time it is now. She's like, it's my chance to eat a little bit. So.
Yeah, she's a good kid, man. Good family. Her big sister was a good baller and is doing well in college, and just really good family and great kid. But she's definitely got she's feisty is a good word for it. And if she was frustrated, I can definitely see her showing it a little bit. But good to see her get going. She came off that bad knee injury last year. She was out pretty much all of last year. Came back like 50% toward the end. But it's good to see her doing well. She's a good thrower on the track too. She's got a future. But let's see. What do you guys think of some of these other scores that we've been busting out? We got Hampton County took down Creek. Creek got beat 56-32. The boys lost their streak. Yeah, Hampton got it on them pretty good. CJ said they just couldn't get it going on offense, which I said earlier is probably some of that credit goes to Hampton because they're real long on defense. They get up in you and they close out quick and help over really good. So, but that's a good Hampton team. Remember, they lost to Hilton Head and they lost to Bluffton last second on both of them. Bluffton was overtime, right? And then they beat both of them in the rematch. So those are their only two losses, and they beat Wellbranch pretty handily without their football guys early. So I think Hampton's
a lot of those. I mean, Hilton Head they didn't have Kayvon.
Hampton seems like right now.
Was in overtime. So
what is Hampton? 2A?
Yeah, 2A.
Yeah,
2A.
They're ranked third behind Gray and Oceanside.
Of course,
same as it ever was. Same as football.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
I'd say what surprises me about Hampton County is just like, in football and now in basketball is that that school is brand new. Like they just merged the two into one. So like the fact that they've gotten their athletics up and running that quickly and like gelled is just very impressive. I know I was watching y'all's Friday game days at 12 every day because I didn't have class Friday this semester. I do next semester, sadly, but this semester I didn't. So I'd always tune into y'all, and y'all were always giving that team a shout out. But to see them replicate in basketball is just very impressive.
That was a really fun team to cover this year. I had a blast covering that Hampton football team.
How about all those all-state guys? Jalen Singletary, I'm really glad he got first team.
Yeah, that was a surprise for me. I didn't
only
expect
a sophomore,
him to get it.
No, dude, he had like 6 or 8 picks. Like he had a great season.
Yeah, he had a tremendous year. I'm.
And he's a
Yeah,
good baller
I
too, but I
he
think
deserved
he's
it, but I
playing JV.
didn't expect him to be on there. But yeah, certainly
Yeah,
deserving.
no, that was a pleasant surprise. I agree, because he did deserve it. And Seager's getting an honorable mention was good too. He really deserved it as well. That was one that stood out to me as like, yeah, he deserved that. I wasn't sure he'd get it, but I was glad he did. But no, that Hampton team is stacked, and their JV's stacked too. Like they got some dudes playing JV. So they're it can be good for a minute in basketball. And I love that they're playing like they played at Estill tonight. And they played Estill tomorrow night against Bluffton. And I love that because it's such a great gym, and I was sad about like not getting to go there anymore, but we still get to go there. It's awesome.
So do they have the chicken tenders though? Or the chicken tenders?
I hope so.
Because that's
I
where
hope
they
they
do
got
their
the
home
chicken
games.
tenders.
They do their home games there, right? Still.
Well, they did some of the early seasons with early season ones at Wade Hampton or at the old school that is the current school. I don't know what to call it anymore at the main campus. But they've been doing, I think it's the weekend games that they do at Estill because it's bigger.
Okay.
It's got a mezzanine, it's got more seating, and it doesn't get quite
I think
as
I've been
hot
there like
when you
once.
get attached. It's a great gym, dude. It's a really good gym. I love covering games in there, and they're just so hospitable out there. They love to see us, so it's always fun. But I got to shout out some sponsors, boys. We're halfway home. The MVP sponsors of Lowco Sports. One of them is right here in the house. Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Lowco Sports, and my wife, of course. She is with KW of the Lowcountry, and she would love to help you find your place in the Lowco. Starter home, forever home, investment property, you name it. She'll get a search set up and find the right one for you because the market is getting ready to move. It's time to go and make a purchase. And when we find the perfect home with Megan Jarrett, official realtor of Lowco Sports, we will call on Homegrown Home Inspections and my friend Jan Lucas and his team to check it out, make sure it's good to go. They bring great levels of expertise and customer service to every home inspection. So let Homegrown Home Inspections be your eyes and ears and your advocate until move-in day. And then when it's time to sign the papers, we'll go to Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of Lowco Sports and our original sponsors since 2017. We love the Mickle squad. You probably saw them tonight, Wes, whether you knew it or not. I'm sure they were at HHCA supporting the Eagles. Big HHCA supporters and supporters of all things youth sports in our community. We love Mickelson Law Firm and Hospice Care of the Lowcountry. My friend James Disman is the CEO, and he's got an incredible caring staff over there that provides hospice and palliative care to the community, as well as free grief counseling. So please support Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. Those are our MVP sponsors, fellas. So let's keep talking hoops. And what else you want to talk about? We got some more scores to discuss.
So what you just said about Hampton being Creek. So Javon showed me, or he said it on the broadcast, but somebody commented and asked our opinion about the Creek versus Buford game this year. And we touched on we had a whole conversation about, and what y'all talked about on this podcast actually is, just a lot of Lowco on Lowco matchups, as y'all like to call them, that have just been very competitive and very even. Buford beat Whale Branch twice, but then split with Bluffton.
But they were
Battery Creek
dogfight
and Whale Branch, just absolutely, just going back and forth, and you'd love to see that. But so we had like a little analysis segment on that, and me personally, I said, given the recent history, I'm going to pick Buford, but CJ, like you mentioned, Coach Brown coaching them up. Sadly, the 3-game win streak ended for them, but already more wins than they had last year. So very impressive job by him.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of close games in the area. Just between some of these, we start at 4A going to 2A, 1A. We've had a lot of close games between these schools, and even just cross Skeeza High School League. So it's been a fun first month to cover these teams, and certainly this week tide will shift to more tournament centric matchups.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are fun. I like the tournament.
Yeah.
I love the tournament. I got a couple scores to report. We got one from Miss Ferry out at Patrick Henry. Flu 7, Patrick Henry boys 3. That's how many they got still standing. So that's why they had to take the night off tonight. That's a good one.
Still got the state championship in football.
And baseball.
Yeah, baseball. So can they go 3 for 3? The Q Theory
right.
and the
And then I do have a legitimate score to report. Doc and the Fighting Stingrays of Cross Schools, the boys, 69. Step of Faith Christian, 60. A dub for the Doctor.
I'll tell you, well, he's not just winning with they're playing the court. The boys coach, he was rocking that fit a couple days ago. I saw it on the social media.
Oh, that was the girls' coach. You saw Fish.
Oh, the girls'
you
coach.
saw Fish.
Okay.
That's the girls' coach, Matthew Fisher Davis. He was rocking the fit with the Yankees hat. Yeah, he's always styling and profiling. He's about cool as a cucumber too on the bench. He doesn't have a whole lot to say. Now Doc, he's a little more animated. He's well dressed too, though. You know Doc. We've had Doc on here. He's a good dude, and he is putting his heart and soul into it. I'll tell you that. Like, there's nobody putting more into coaching skis and 1A basketball than that guy. But I love the energy we have with a lot of the young coaches here. But I did want to talk more about that Hilton Head Prep BA game, the boys game, because I wanted to give a little bit more love to prep and kind of analyze what I saw. I thought Buford Academy looked really good. First off, like they were in control, they were in the lead going to the fourth quarter. And they impressed me. I think Zeke Gonzalez has really grown into that point guard role. He's pulling on the reins when he needs to. He's taking charge and making them run the offense when they need to. And he hit shots. He's a clutch character. Like, that, Wes, from every sport. He is a clutch dude. He's going to knock them down for you. But Hilton Head Prep was absolutely phenomenal. And Barron, I don't recall what his first name is offhand, but the coach's son, he's young, number 13. He was drilling threes. He made 3 in the second half. He was 5 of 9 from the field, all from 3. He understands the system so well, and
that's a good night.
Gets to the right spots. Yeah, that's a decent night, right? 15 on 5 and 9 from 3. And then Brendan Moore also got hot from 3. He hit a couple late. He ended up with 13. He was 3 of 5 from 3. So they just lit it up from 3 in the second half. Ben Frey, he did not have. Right there. He had 12, and that was a homecoming for him. Of course, he started his career at BA, so that was he wanted this one. And I will say that Britschke, he's a great player, but BA did a really good job of not giving him scoring opportunities. They kept him to 5 points. He was great on the boards. He dished, took it in. He ran the high post. He got the ball back out. And then what I saw, and this is super small sample size, right? Like, based on basically what we've seen in results so far, what I've seen in a little bit of film here and there, and then what I saw in like 3 quarters tonight. But I'm not gonna say Hilton Head Prep's a better team than they were last year, because that would be silly. Like, Kisano and Eanes were phenomenal players. Kisano was the best guy on the floor every night. But I think this year's personnel fits the system better in a way, and I think because of that, there may be a little more buy-in overall in the system, and so they are running it, man. And what happens is they just wear you out, and unless you got 12 guys who can play defense, you're going to be dead in the fourth quarter, and they're going to get open looks, and if they make them, they're going to beat you. And that's what they did tonight. They could not miss in the fourth quarter. They ran them ragged on defense and started getting open, and then they just didn't miss. So Hilton Head Prep is going to be a serious problem for everybody just because of the way they play.
And the fact you thought that Sean Kisano would be a big loss, but the system, what they established earlier, and they used to have some guys from that team that have taken some new and more important roles. So I'm all in on this Hilton Head Prep team. I think they're right there as one of the top squads in 3A as they go for a back-to-back championship. But the Christian Academy, they have their sights set on other plans, and that's going to be a fun.
They got some dogs too.
Really,
sounds like from what you're saying, they like to just push the pace, to play a possession game kind of.
Oh, prep. They play straight up
Yeah.
Princeton.
Yeah,
They
they're a
play
little bit
straight up
different
Princeton,
styles.
and they will carve you up. They
Yeah,
will. They
it's
will pass you to death until they
Gotta
find an
find the right
open man
shot.
and skip
Oh
him
boy.
and bang. And I mean, it's straight up Princeton. Their head coach was the head coach at University of Maine before he came here. Like he's X's and
He's
O's
good.
wise, he's
Yeah.
phenomenal. He's unmatched. And last year, I think there was a little bit of pushback, like, oh man, this is not our style of play. Not that it was a bad thing. I think it was just a little bit. It was a tough transition.
New coach.
But now he's got, exactly, and a pretty drastically different system in ways. You know, like that. It's hard to get stats. Like you can't really rack up stats when you're only scoring 45 to 50 a night as a team. Sometimes less. They'll beat you 38, 36 if they have to. But I think now this year they've bought into it and decided, you know what? Let's go win a state championship, no matter how many points they score per game.
I'm about to say, well, this year I would
they
say
got in at the second half of
year.
last year. Let's say that. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, it's his second year of tryouts too. So you make sure you got the guys if you want to play and you know what he's gonna do. Then you know what you're signing up for.
Again, I mean,
it's hard to follow up a legend in Jerry Faulkner. But
my one concern was sort of about the bigs. Like Bridgkey's a nice big. He's a really nice big. But I was like, man, can they defend like Hildnet Christian with as many bigger guys as they have? But now that I've seen them in person, they're not like huge physically, but they're really long and rangy and quick-footed, and they have good defensive instincts. So I think they're going to be able to limit those guys better than I maybe anticipated going into the season. Billy Barron is the young man's name, who was 5 of 9 from 3. He's a junior. He looks younger. He's got a baby face, but man, he can stroke it. And then Connor Campbell is a dog. He just plays so hard. Ben Frey had a good night tonight. Jason Britchke's really good. And then Brendan Moore is the other kid that I hadn't seen in person yet. That I'm like, ooh, he's long and athletic and moves well. So you can see how it's all working on defense. They can zone you up pretty good with long arms and find ways to neutralize guys. So I think it's going to be some really fun matchups in that conference for sure.
Yeah, don't sleep on JP2. That's a group that's been playing some good ball to start the year. But another score.
I didn't get that one.
What's that?
I had
another score to talk about.
You had Battery Creek JP2
girls. HHGA girls losing 62-42 Archer. So setback there for.
Yeah, they went looking for a fight and they got one. I thought that might happen. I mean that's what they went there to do, though. That's why you go over there, is to get in a fight and see if you can win it. And if you can't, then you got to start figuring out how you win the next one. That's why you do it.
And they play tomorrow again against the Johnson.
Statesboro, right? Oh, Johnson. Yeah, they switched up the schedule. It was supposed to be 2 different teams, but they're supposed to have Statesboro tomorrow.
The Adams
schedules, man.
The Johnson Adams Smashers, one of their team nicknames.
So Johnson.
Yeah,
that is
Georgia. The Johnson
Adams Smashers out of Savannah.
Hey, listen.
Well, the boys coach is there. UTAP with his chew stick. Johnson boys coach is UTAP with his chew stick. I think he used to be. That dude's a trip. He used to be a Hardy Bell.
I know this is the hoops report, but that was my best. One of my best wrestling tournaments was at SOC Johnson over there. Adam Smashers.
Oh yeah.
I wrestled up. I was like, huh?
We got some serious wrestling going on tomorrow, brother. You ready for it?
Yeah, I'll be at the alumni game tomorrow.
Oh, dope. That's fun. Who all you got coming for that?
Well, surprise. Coach CJ Brown will be on the color commentary with me tomorrow.
You're broadcasting it tomorrow? Oh.
Yeah, I just never posted it. It's one of those things where, it's a one-time deal. They want to try to make sure they get everybody in the door. Raise as much money as they can. So I didn't post it.
As long as you share it with me. long as you
Yeah. No, I'll post. I mean,
I'll
go live. I'll go live. I just didn't post the link yet, so you know what I'm saying. I just been kind
I
of.
got you.
Be kind of chilling.
Keeping
I
it
need to
on
do
the
my schedule
low.
for next week.
Keeping it on the low.
I got to do my schedule for next week and stuff too. So you know.
Yeah.
Surprise coach isn't playing in that game.
I'll be over at the Cove tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised he isn't. I'm surprised he isn't either.
I'm efforting a guess, gentlemen. Hey, Lil Ben, check your IG messages, Lil Ben Frey, if you're still in here.
FRI.
Or maybe I'll hit you on Twitter since you're on there.
They said something about letting the younger guys, you know, start getting a run too, so they can get kind of different generations, you know, in the game instead of just the usual, you know, CJ Vari, you know, the older guys, and so
yeah, we got to bring in the new blood.
I was gonna say, I remember last year whenever we did the Creek game, and you know, I was going down to talk to him. You told me like he's one of their like greatest players ever. So that was a talking point whenever I got to interview him. But with what
at Battery Creek?
Yeah, it was Battery Creek at Buford for the rivalry game last year. But that was my first time meeting Coach Brown. So I remember you telling me that he played, so I talked to him about that. That was very fun.
Hey JJ, man, you're more of a historian than I am. How about all school teams? An all Creek team, all Buford team. That'd be a nice little paper.
That would be really fun. That'd be like a big summer project we'd have to take on. We'd have to dig around, because here's the thing about me, Lane. I don't like releasing lists unless I feel like I can defend them. Like I gotta go through the process, however long it takes. And honestly, that's why there have been times where I didn't release all Lowco teams, like where I got them together. I didn't have sponsorship for them. I got them together, but I just couldn't feel like I knew enough to definitively say who the best players were in certain sports.
Controversy sells.
I know, but I don't like controversy. I like
he wants to be authentic.
Rational. I like reason.
No,
I like well-reasoned
it's provocative.
argument.
It gets the people going.
I don't like provocative. I mean, if it provokes people with the truth, so be it. But I don't need to just stir it up. But we invited Ben Frey. He said, I would love to and appreciate the coverage, but I'm icing just about every part of my body right now, which is fair. It was a battle tonight at BA. It really was. It was a great basketball game, man. Daniel Godson was over there with his son, who's one of the new stars over at JP2, since their game was canceled because the sickness, the Estel sickness, which the Patrick Henry boys told me was called cotton disease. Because their school's literally in the middle of a cotton field. Like it's wild. But no, it was a battle, man. Ben got after it, and they just had a little bit more in the tank at the end. So got to see lots of cool, good people. The Shuford boys were over there. What you got, Thomas?
You said, sorry to interrupt. You said about their 3-point shooting. Thanks, I appreciate it. You said about their 3-point shooting. Just how quickly. He said he went 5 for 9, and they were all 3-pointers. Just if you're able to get hot from 3, it just turns the game around quickly. We saw that tonight from Bonds and Cleckley in the our game over at Beaver High. So, and then
we watched the highlights earlier. They were stroking it.
About Hilton Head Prep. I was watching the other day when you were talking about, you mentioned how obviously they have their shortcomings in football, but how they've gone like all in on being a basketball school. I mentioned how like university I'm at now, USC, we're a women's basketball school. So I'm pretty sure we can definitively say, Hilton Head Prep, you're hiring a former college coach from Maine. You're putting an emphasis on basketball and getting those boys coached up. So like you said, it was a battle, and just good for them.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of thing that happens at Hilton Head Prep, because you get a guy who loses his job at the University of Maine, and he's like, I'll just move to Hilton Head, and he's got a son who plays basketball, and he takes him to Hilton Head Prep. What do you know? You got yourself a D1 basketball coach.
There have been a ton of basketball in the minds over the years come over to Hilton Head Prep.
I don't know. They might have. I don't know how much they courted him here, but I'm just saying, like, that kind of thing happens here. Like, Sharon Verset moved here, and then USCB started basketball, and they hired her. Like, that kind of thing happens here. There's people just sitting around in our community who have just ridiculous.
You never know.
just
Yeah,
It's
time.
like
you can
a
just
Lanes
fall
are laps
into it.
Deion
sometimes
Sanders
around here at
situation
Lowco.
where they bring their kids with them and
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
coach them up,
exactly.
and then there's the star player.
Well, to
Yeah,
his
you just talk
credit, you
about who
know,
they're able to
Billy.
get.
I don't think Billy played. I don't think Billy played varsity last year. But boy, he showed he was ready for the prime time tonight. When the lights
That's
were
some
on in the
tough
fourth
love.
quarter, he knocked some down in the clutch, you know, and so did Brendan Moore. So big time dub for them. I like both those teams, man. BA scrappy, dude. The games they've lost have been against Bridges, against Hilton Prep, and they've fought in those games. So I don't think they're the young coach. I think his name is Christopher Smith. I like his energy. Like they seem to be playing hard. And Clay Lore played tonight with his horrible finger. He had it taped to the other one and got back in there. So tough kid. I told him I did that once and wrestled with a busted pinky taped to the next finger. That's a little more treacherous than playing basketball, probably, don't you think,
Wrestling
Vaughn?
with the what? With the pinky?
Wrestling with a broken pinky taped to the next to your ring finger.
Oh man.
It hurt like a son of a gun if somebody grabbed it. I'll tell you that. Oof.
I
It was
believe
rough.
you.
Yeah, it was rough.
You
It
couldn't
got
have let
pretty
me
big
see
and
that.
purple one day. It was pretty gross.
Oh,
It wasn't as
that
bad
was
as the
terrible.
kid we saw break his arm the other night, though. That was awful.
Oh,
Thank
no.
goodness
Oh
he's
man.
okay.
Oh, that was
Yeah, seventh grader, man. It was rough. It was rough. Wrestler, but
Jesus.
tried
Oh,
to
and
brace himself going back to the mat. It wasn't good.
yeah. No, you gotta learn how to fall, man. You gotta learn how to fall.
Yeah. We went back over it the next day. Made sure everybody understood that if they don't have your arms controlled, you better control them yourself. We don't.
Hey, you know what?
wanna
You know
do
what's
that.
funny about that? I had when I was in high school, I was wrestling a kid, and I forgot where he was from. And you know, most of the time, wrestling isn't a popular sport with most other people. And so I had one of my friends come in from the football team, and he was like, just happened to be watching the match. And this kid, because I know the rules, I was wrestling, he kept locking his arms. You know what I'm saying? When we were
Locking
down.
his
So
hands.
it's yeah. So it's
1 point.
it's free for it's free point for
It's a
me.
point, and
So
then it's a point, and then it's 2 points, and then it's
yeah.
Just keep
So
DQ, I
adding up.
believe. I
so
think it's
I was
like
just
4 and you're DQ.
yeah. So he got me about 2 or 3 times, but I let it happen because what he would do is I was down and blow the whistle, so trying to escape. So he would
Yep.
immediately lock his hands before I got up. So I would get the
Yeah.
point, but he would wind up slamming me in the process. So, but I knew how to fall, so I'm just
Right.
going with
Yeah.
it. And my friend's like, "Man, you letting him slam you like that?" I was like, "Bro, he locked his hands. It's a penalty." Bro, I ain't gonna let nobody slam me like that. I'm like, "Bro, you just gotta know how to fall. I'm not putting my arm out there so I can break it. Like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good."
Yeah.
Using the
You gotta
And
know
rules
if
how
to
you
to
know
your
what
fall.
you're
advantage.
doing, you can turn it in you can turn it into a little
Yeah,
switch and spin around behind him. If you know how to fall right, it's all about that.
yeah,
It's all
that's
about
it.
control. But hey, we taking it off the
Nah,
rails. We're talking wrestling. That's for the Loco grind Wednesday
my
night.
bad.
We gotta
Back to
keep it on the
basketball.
grind.
Hey, no, I
Back to
love when we
basketball because well, you were talking
crossover is
about
fun too.
the
What you got,
pinky,
Jay?
the hand. I started
Yeah.
thinking injuries. I was going to say, Devarius. That's the other thing about Buford High tonight. They're hurting, man. Devarius is still out, and then Hasil, she tried to go tonight, and I mean she
Yeah.
got a little fancy in the first quarter, and then started hobbling on that ankle. I mean she was hobbling on that ankle last year, and then I saw a little bit in the preseason at that tournament,
She's the
and then
glue
now
too. Like they're in
yeah.
trouble without her. She's the energy, I think, it seems like.
Yeah, she's the this year. She's the 2020. She's the queen. She's the she doesn't score as much, but she's definitely the ball handler and the the
Yeah, she's
facilitator
the
for
one
them.
you want, the decision maker and all that. So
Yeah.
with her out, they're just kind of they look kind of lost, which is
it's
just
tough.
it is what it is.
It's hard to see.
Yeah,
But hopefully,
I felt bad for her on her
Hopefully they
A
can get
game
her
too.
back. They got a nice little break though, I think.
Yeah.
So they should be able to get her right
Buford High.
physically.
heal up.
Yeah, don't they have a little break?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me see. I got it
Let's
right
see
here.
I got it too. Yeah, they got one more on the 20th against James Island in 5 days, and then they're off till January 2nd and Ashley Ridge, and then they open regions. So
Yeah, because I got a
you know,
couple of Creek games in that gap because they only play James Island.
they could they could rest her against James Island and have her healthy coming back into region play. That would be clutch.
They need to find out what kind of ankle braces Steph Curry got, man.
You're right. You're right.
Because his career was gonna
Right
be over
got
early.
Right now they got 3 dubs and they're all against Whale Branch.
Ah, man.
What do you think about this Buford James Island game on Friday, especially the boys? Welcoming in a team that's projected to be right there at the top of SIPM 4A and has been a consistent powerhouse in that region. So I'm interested to see how Buford does against the Trojans coming up.
That was a good rivalry when they were in the same region too. Yeah. They had some Donniebrooks for a couple of years.
Last year, whenever they did the senior night, the seniors, they all like say their favorite memory. And for the basketball team, from like Arthur Singleton, Michael Denson, like everybody, their favorite memory was winning the region against James Island.
Yeah. So I was there that night. That was a great
I'm sure that even though they're down in 3A.
Oh, I remember that one. Yep.
That was a great game.
I don't think they played each other last year, just like how they hadn't played Bluffton last year either. But I'm sure they're excited for that one. If there's any players, I'm sure like Garen Willis and Blackman, these seniors were there. Probably on a JV team, but still around the team when that happened back when they were in 4A. So sure they're trying to keep the tradition going.
What do you guys think about realignment going forward for Buford or in Battery Creek as well? When you're looking ahead towards 2024, 25, and 26, because you guys were on the cusp at the high edge of 3A. What are you kind of expecting there? Do you think you'll move back up or?
Well, that's the rumblings I've heard. I think Buford might go up back to 4A. I haven't heard anything about Battery Creek. But I thought it'd be interesting Buford High going back to 4A because most of their region would be local, because I can guarantee you May River, Bluffton, and Hilton Head aren't going down.
Right.
They're still building houses over there, man.
Nor Bluffton. They're all staying 4A for sure.
Yeah, they're building houses over there, man.
We got a new friend with us, the coach of the victorious Stingrays, Doc Archibald. What is up, Doctor?
What's going on,
Victoria.
man?
Oh, victorious. Oh, I was like Victoria. I was like,
you were victorious tonight.
Yes, we were. We won 69-60 over Step of Faith in a close one. About the lead bout didn't change most of the game. They got it within 3 with about 3 minutes left, and then we were able to push it out at the end. We were able to shut down number 12. I don't know his first name. His last name's Drew. He killed us last time we played him. Last week, actually. It's the return matchup of the our home game, as opposed to the road game we played last week, where he killed us. So we were able to shut him down a little bit, which made it a little bit easier victory this time.
Right on, man. How about who stood out for you tonight?
Jose David Garcia, for sure. He set a career high with 17 points. He got to the line. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times tonight, which was huge. Nice. He put their bigs in foul trouble. And I want to say, we don't have a live statistician, but I want to say at least 12 rebounds he got tonight. It was really big. And especially after not playing a lot in the Patrick Henry game on Tuesday. He didn't play very much, and then made me regret that tonight. So I love it when a player can make me look bad, and step up and really play hard. And that's always a good thing to me. A lot of coaches, be like, oh, now you want to play hard. I'm like, make me look stupid. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. That's one of the good feeling for a coach, isn't it? When they step up and play even better than you thought. So that has to feel good as a coach. But just assess where you guys are. Had a couple of losses to that's always a strong Patrick Henry team that put up 96 the other night on Tuesday. So you guys have been busy, and it's got to be nice to get back in the win column here against Step of Faith.
Yeah. Patrick Henry really put it to us. Hugh Ferry, because there's
I warned you.
I warned you. You warned me. He put up He put up 29 in the first 3 quarters against us. Only had 1 in the fourth, but the game was kind of over at that point. He really put it to us. We tried to wear him out with the
Shut him down in the fourth.
yeah, I wish that was more the case. I wish that was it, but that really wasn't it. We tried to wear him down. That bug that's been going around. We decided to press and play really fast. That was part of our game plan. So the 97 points was more due to possessions than it was bad defense. Because we put up 71 ourselves, but our defense wasn't that great. We still allowed 97 points, but it was a really, really fast-paced game. We were up and down, and that was part of my strategy going into it. And I wish it worked. It didn't.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly. And sometimes best laid plans don't work, and come back and reevaluate next time we play them. But yeah, you got to give Hugh Ferry a lot of credit there. He played a wonderful game.
Good kid. They didn't get to play tonight. They had the sickness. Too many of them. They're down 7 tonight. They only had 3 healthy. So I guess beware. I hope nobody on your side ends up with it. But it's that time of year. It's that time of year. Wash those hands. Don't touch your face. Got a couple other scores. Carleton County girls put it on Lowcountry leadership, 52-8. That's a nice walloping. What else did I find? I saw Hilton High girls lost. Well, that's the team that Bridges beat up on earlier this year too. The Bridges girls, when Michaela Lapp had like 24. So I think Lowcountry leadership's kind of going through it right now.
Bridges girls beat up on somebody?
Yeah, they hammered Lowcountry leadership. So it's been a rough year at Lowcountry leadership. What do you think, Doc, about that BA Hilton Head Prep game tonight? I don't know how much you followed along, but BA boys were up on Hilton Head Prep throughout. They were up, pretty much through 3 quarters. It was a 2-point game going to the fourth. Hilton Head Prep got red hot from 3 and ended up beating them by 13. But you saw BA last week, so what did you think about them? I was impressed with the fight they showed against Hilton Head Prep tonight. They really had them on the ropes for much of the night and just couldn't finish it off. But they got some nice players. I think that's a dangerous team.
Yeah, Gonzalez at the point guard's really dangerous. He does a really good job of distributing the ball to everybody. I think he should actually look for himself to score more, personally speaking.
Yeah.
But he does a great job distributing and getting everyone involved. Obviously, I forget the shooter's name with the pinky that you were mentioning earlier. He didn't play against he didn't play against us, so we didn't have to worry about him. So we were really worried about trying to pack the paint defensively and stop those little dump offs to the 2 bigs, 15 and 10. I don't know their names off the top of my head. Let me see here.
Yeah, Eddie Gonzalez is one of them.
Eddie Gonzalez 11, and then
he's
Grant number 15 as well.
Yeah,
big body. And so we were focused
he's
on
real
that.
long. He's real long and rangy. He's tough matchup.
Yeah, 6'3" and probably a 6'7" plus wingspan, really long.
Yeah, Grant Newton.
Newton, thank you. And so they're really solid. They don't really have a huge weakness anywhere. They man up on you and they get up. They do a really good job, especially on ball screens. Ball screens were not an advantage for us when we played them. They were actually a disadvantage because they guarded them so well. And that speaks to the young coach you were talking about earlier. He does a really good job defensively. And then I don't think you even know this, Justin. I ran Princeton in high school.
You did.
I'm a huge Princeton guy. Yeah. And so I know that offense takes its toll on you defensively.
It just wears you out, man. It just wears you out. You got to chase all night long.
Yeah.
And then in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden, those shots on the perimeter were wide open, or somebody flashed open under the basket, and they just got easy basket after easy basket after easy basket.
Yeah, and then it was
impressive.
Yeah, and that offense, it wears you out, and they make you guard. It's not like a 10-second possession. It's not like I played the other night where you play defense for 5 seconds and you're done. You're playing defense for
and there's no clock. There's no
seconds.
Shot clock, so they'll make you play for as long as they want to until they get the look they want. If they're patient with it, and they are so patient with it right now, man. It's fun to watch.
Coach
like
Carab,
it's thought of as like a boring style of basketball, but I think it's just brilliant to watch guys just patiently cut, pass, and then boom. And you just don't even know what hit you. I used to love to watch Princeton teams that ran Princeton just frustrate the hell out of blue bloods in March Madness. Like it's just amazing.
Princeton did it last year, and they still run the Princeton offense.
They still run
made it to
Princeton.
the Sweet.
Great.
They still run this. They made it to the Sweet 16 last year.
Like close
But
to
even
top
as a
50
kid, I
team.
geeked out on it, and I wasn't even a basketball guy. Like I didn't
Yeah.
play basketball, but I still geeked out on teams running Princeton and beating blue bloods. I just loved it.
Yeah, my high school coach was big on the shot clock shots. He called them. We weren't allowed to. Don't take a shot just because we haven't gotten them. Be patient. Be patient. It was something he harped on throughout high school. And if you can do it, it's nasty. It's nasty. I mean, personally, I'd probably just zone prep. Don't deal with it. Don't even deal with it.
Speaking of Princeton, they're 10-1 and just outside the top 50 in Ken Palm right now. So they're off to a pretty strong. That's a team to keep an eye on when you're getting ready for March. So good stuff over there. But hype me up about this cross girls team because they are on a scorching start to begin the season. And I'm sure you're in contact with those coaches and you get to see them. What do you think about how well that girls team's playing?
So yeah,
he's on the bench. He's on the bench. It's all hands on deck over there. Him and Fish are tag teaming it.
Yeah, so I'm assisting Fish on the girls' side. I'm not really doing too much at the practices, but as far as the games, I'm giving him an extra set of eyes to look at things to make sure he's not missing anything. But he does a really good job. The girls are looking good. PJ, where's her dad tonight? Where's Robbie B tonight?
He went to the Hilton Head Christian game in Savannah. So
got you. So yeah, PJ Benson, Genesis, really really good. And then you got and they kind of run the show offensively, get everyone involved, and then they got Rayanna and Lexanne Maldonado, two transfers in, a freshman and a sophomore, sisters that do a lot of their finishing, and then they got the Halling sisters with the three of them, and then Ryan, I forget her last name, her Mayers.
Ryan Mayers. Yeah,
Ryan Mayers,
my former
and
softball practice,
all 8 of
baseball
them.
practice babysitter.
There you go. And it's all 8 of them, but the thing about them is all 8 of them can play. All 8 of them really know their role. They bought into what they're doing well. I think it's Sydney Hollings' last game shut down the other team's best player, held her to like 10 points below her average. The last 2 games, she's done really well defensively and then knocking down open threes when she gets the opportunity. Now, against Patrick Henry on Tuesday, our girls didn't shoot very well. I think we were 7 for 30 on threes and almost 50% from the free throw line. But even though we didn't shoot too well, we still gutted it out with our defense and just trying to get those extra possessions through full court man pressure because the girls are athletic and know how to play. We're really excited. Next week we play in that tournament at Holly Hill. The girls think they have an opportunity to win that. And then they'll play in the Charleston Classic, and they think they have an opportunity to be there as well, and try to go 6-0. We will only have the one loss so far. So to St. Joe's out of Greenville, and
that was a good game too. Yeah, so
a really good game.
Yeah, they're impressing. They're going to be a problem in Skeezer 1A for sure. Well, we got to shout out some more sponsors, and then I have tracked down a few more scores after the break. Anybody need to bounce? Anybody need to go to bed? You're good?
I'm good.
You rolling?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep
Friday
rolling.
night, I'm home on break, and we're good.
I always like to give people an out if they need one. I don't want them sitting there, falling asleep like Robbie did last week. The varsity sponsors of Lowco Sports are DDS Web Design and Parker Law Group. DDS Web Design builds, hosts, and maintains websites for businesses and nonprofits so that you can get found online, do more, and think bigger. Because you got to be found online these days to do business, don't you, Doc? Nick's Flooring's got to get found online, right? That's how you get all that business. But DDS Web Design will help you get found online with search engine optimization tactics built into your website. that will make you show up in those organic searches so you can get more business. Check them out at ddshhi.com and tell them the Lowco sent you. And if you need legal advice out in Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties, Partner Law Group is the place to go. They've been serving the folks with their legal needs out there for years, and they've jumped on board to allow us to continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowcountry. So those are our varsity sponsors, fellas. Also going to throw in there a couple of new ones. We've got Reverence Wrestling Club, the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind on wrestling and combat sports in the Lowco. They are also joining as a varsity sponsor. All you wrestlers, that's the place to go to get extra mat time and take your skills to the next level. And also coming soon, the Foundry in Beaufort is going to be joining us as well on the Grind. So look forward to have them in the mix as well. But guys, a few more scores that we've got. Colleton, we got that one. Brunswick beats Hilton Head girls 53-30 and finishes the sweep 63-44 on the boys' side. Also, I had Colleton County boys finished off the sweep of Lowcountry Leadership 78-28. So it's a rough year for the Navigators of Lowcountry Leadership. Navigators, by the way, Navi, and then a capital G and Aiders, and it's a gator with a compass is their logo. I love it. The Navigators. The Navigators. That's Lowcountry Leadership. Not as good as Swamp Rabbits, but it's like next best, I think. That's a good one. And that's it. Those were the scores I found, fellas. We're still looking for Battery Creek Hampton girls score, both Ridgeland Hardyville Allendale scores, and both Colleton Prep Calhoun scores. That's what we need. If anybody's got them, hit them in the chat. What else you want to talk about, boys? Anything else?
I was going to bring
what are we looking forward to tomorrow? Yeah.
Vaughn pitched the idea of, the all state schools, and you said you couldn't really make one. I was just thinking, if you're going to make one for Beaufort, you got to put the Dennison brothers on there. James,
yeah, but like you have a seriously long history of Beaufort high school basketball that includes like dudes who played at UCLA and stuff. Like,
yeah, it is a deep.
It's a huge endeavor. You have to sit with Herbert Glaze for like 2 days before you could like really confidently
even think about it, either fathom
this. But those are two at least honorable mentions at the very least.
Oh, for sure.
I'll tell you what, though.
For sure.
I tell you what, though. Well, Branch, it's only been 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that one.
Pringle.
I mean,
Nick
Pringle would definitely be on there. He'd be on there.
That's easy money.
What about at Creek? You'd have to put Brent Evans on there, and you'd have to put CJ on there.
Brent, CJ.
I don't know.
Vari's all-time 3.
I don't know that much about pre-2005, so I couldn't say too much about that. But drafts would know. I mean, Drafts could make the team for us. Huh?
What about his son, Colin?
Colin Drafts, I didn't get to see him. He was kind of before my time. But he was legit.
Can I do the cross schools all-time starting 5?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. How long has cross been open?
This is
what's your starting 5 right now?
Yeah, that's exactly. It's my starting 5 right now. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the all-time team.
Gotta start somewhere.
Name the Hampton
Cross all-time team got a 69-60 win tonight. That's it. The all-time team. I love it.
That's hilarious.
But you know who else I would argue for, Vaughn? I would argue for Javari Albagati. Oh, that's who you meant when you said Vari.
Yeah.
That dude could light it up from 3, dude. I've never seen a better 3-point shooter than that guy.
He only got, to my knowledge, he only got shut down one time.
He was unreal, dude. He just didn't miss. He was unbelievable. So I'd put him on that team. I think those 3 are on there, and then there's probably a couple old timers from way back.
You got 3 out of the 5, so
yeah.
But
that's pretty good.
But Branch right now, though, I would say, obviously.
Well, you got to go back to those state championship teams too.
Yes,
what were those kids' names? What were the twins' names?
I'm gonna go both Middletons.
Yeah.
Simeon and Mike.
Yeah.
Simeon and Mike.
Yep.
I would add D.
Yeah.
D Delaney.
Yeah.
D Delaney.
I have to.
And then who would be 5?
It's getting tight, bro. It gets tough after that.
Because I mean,
There's
if
a
we
lot
go
of
sim
guys
at
to consider.
if we go sim at the sim 1, I would go D3 Mike 4, Nick 5.
What
So
year
who
were
would
those?
go at the
What year were
2?
those championship teams?
Right out the gate, man. 2011 to 14. Because I'll graduate 2012. So what does it start? The championship is the year the season starts, right? So for example,
No,
this
it's the year the season
No,
ends.
it's the year
Season
it finished
year.
for winter sports.
It's the year it finishes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
It was
So
2012.
2012 to 14. 12 to
13 would
14.
be 2013. Yeah.
12, 13,
13
14.
was the really good year. Yeah, 12, 13 was the 24-4 year. We got stats on here. We're getting to the bottom of this.
Because 13
In
I
real
think
time.
was the 13
We're
was the
doing
year I
a
think the
30 for
brothers had
30
to
on Whale Branch basketball at the hour 15 mark or
At the
whatever
right.
of the live show. I love
That's
it.
what this is
But
about,
D,
though,
yeah,
right?
so
They were that good.
Yeah.
pretty
back in the day.
much.
I know.
That's
That
pretty
had been
much
open
the
that
whole
long.
point. All right, so you got D. D averaged 11.8 points a year. Simeon averaged 13.5. Michael averaged 10.1. If Simeon and Mikey could have played every game, bro. Remember
Yeah.
they couldn't play on Saturdays or something like. That
Yeah.
was a bummer.
Well, no,
Friday nights. They couldn't play Friday nights, right? They
They
couldn't play
couldn't
Friday
play
nights.
they couldn't play during the day. So they asked them to
On
switch
Saturday.
the game
That was it,
around.
yeah.
Like
After
the 2A,
sundown,
3A
they could
game.
play, right? Because
They
they
could
were
play after sundown.
Seventh-day Adventists, yeah.
And they played
Religious
at
beliefs that they
4, so
couldn't
they
play.
just asked
Yeah, that was
they
wild.
asked them if they could just switch it to 6 and let the other team play at floor. And they were like, no. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
That's some
You know who else?
NCAA level.
Justin
Yeah, 'cause-
Rhodes averaged 10.5 as a freshman on that team. Wow.
What year was it
That's
where,
impressive.
like, if BYU won their game, they were going to switch them with a different bracket so they wouldn't have to play on Sunday?
Wouldn't
And they were going to
right?
switch it. It was like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago or something.
And then
That
13,
I don't
14, they
know.
were also.
But I get your gist of where you're coming at. Like it could have happened. South Carolina High School League has obviously been protested a lot by the fans, but
I'm a skeezer dude.
It's
yeah. So yeah, I'm a skeezer dude.
What?
I'm a skeezer.
What happened to Vaughn? What happened to Justin Rhodey, who was on those two state championship teams at Whale Branch?
That I don't know.
I
don't know that name.
He averaged
In
12
my
and a half on that second team that went to the state championship game, and then he wasn't
Really?
there. After that, he was. Oh no, he was a senior that year. Never mind. It was wrong on the previous year's roster. It said he was a freshman. But yeah, he was a key player on that team
It
as well.
also
That
was
second.
important for the most recent team was Sean Chisholm in the 1920s.
That's what I was about to say, Sean. But
Ooh, Sean was a dog too,
what?
bro.
But if we're going that he was on that team, Nick was the 5. Sean had to be at least the 4. Are you taking him over Mike?
Sean was a beast. I didn't see enough of those early Whale Branch teams because that was in the time when I was at USCB, and so I didn't really cover them. I followed them a little bit through McCombs and them, but man, Sean was a dog.
Sean was a dog.
He was like the Charles. He was like the Charles Mason or the Charles Oakley type of that team. Like he was undersized, but nobody could out battle him for a rebound.
Yeah,
he was mean, dude. He was mean.
I remember meeting him and he still had his dreads. I remember he still had his dreads when I first met him at a pickup game. I don't play basketball. I'm a terrible basketball player. I go for cardio,
wrestler,
man.
Bro. You're a wrestler.
I go for cardio.
No, I'm a terrible basketball player too.
Let me
I'll
get out of the house,
open
man.
threes all day though. I'll shoot open threes all day.
No. I'm a play defense. If you get your hands on the ball, stop, don't dribble, pass it to somebody. That's me.
Yeah. That's me too.
Know your role.
Up three.
Yeah,
I'll shoot spot up threes all day because I shot many of those out on the farm with no defense. If I'm open for three, I got a shot.
No, I don't shoot the ball unless I'm clearly wide open, and it's like you just gotta shoot it. You're open. But I remember meeting him for a pickup game, Like
I like to
Burton
drive,
Wells,
but I'm also 5'6", so it doesn't work out very well for me.
It didn't stop Nate
Are you on your
Robinson.
tiptoes there?
5'5.5", maybe. I don't know. I'm probably shrinking at this point in my life.
They make socks for
5'6" on a
that.
good day is what I usually say. Nah,
They make
I don't wear
socks for your
socks most of
condition.
the time.
You got a little.
Sock-
you got a little
socks
help.
give
You'll
me-
do better when you hoop.
I'm no DeSantis. Yeah, I would when I hoop. I'm no DeSantis, bro. I don't need any. I'll be as tall as I am. I don't care. I ain't worried about it. I'm a wrestler, baby. I can still make. I could probably make 152 if I needed to, but it's not a weight class anymore, which is crap. 152 is
Yeah,
the quintessential
that
weight
threw
class.
me
Am I
off.
wrong? That is the quintessential weight class, correct? 152.
I'm a 170 guy. You know what I'm saying?
170 is
Yeah.
good too. 189 was
170,
always
180.
killer too.
That's where the athletes are. You know what I'm
189.
saying?
189.
That's where
No,
the athletes are.
no. 145, 152 are the best athletes for me. Those are the like
Beat 'em all.
undersized linebacker guy. Those guys. Oh, I love watch those guys. They're rock solid.
Beat them all.
But we're talking about wrestling again, and this is not the grind. It's the Loco Hoops
My bad.
Report.
My bad.
But I
We
think
were
it is
on the
time to,
all-time list. We were on the all. We need a 2.
We
have
were.
every position but a 2.
Motion to table.
What's up?
Accepted.
I'm making
Aye.
a motion to table. Doc is seconded. All in favor? Aye. All right. Yeah, we're gonna table. We're gonna table the motion for the top 5, starting 5 Whale Branch all time until a future convocation of the minds. Let's put it that way.
I'm gonna start it on my
And,
Facebook page because I have a whole bunch of Well Branch friends.
I gotta be on the wrestling
input.
buses. I gotta be on the wrestling bus at 7:30 tomorrow, boys. We gotta go to bed. Loco Booster Club. You got Court Lifestyle Pros, Lowcountry natives Daniel and Debbie Court selling the Loco lifestyle on Hilton Head Island. Go see them if you want to live the good life on the island. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. You know him, Doc Archibald. You know Chris Odom from Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. I got to connect you up. He's the best when it comes to getting those floors clean. You can give him all kinds of referrals, and he will get those floors so clean that your feet will thank you, and your clients will thank you for sending them to Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Prime IV Hydration and Wellness is now open in Belfair Town Village. Go get juiced up with my guy Max, and you'll be feeling right, hydrated and refreshed. Rooted Living Wellness. I went and saw Dr. Ambrose Cole just this day because I scrapped with a 158-pound teenager yesterday in wrestling practice, and I went and got cracked up today, and I feel a lot better. It's going to be a requirement for me pretty frequently as a wrestling coach now. So go see Dr. Ambrose Cole if you want to get feeling right. Eagle Creations, great spot for promotional items, custom apparel, team stores, Doc. If the doctor needs to get a cross team store going with your AI graphics printed on T-shirts, you could hook it up at Eagle Creations. They are over on Argent Boulevard. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland if you need a haircut or if you just want to hang out and hear some great conversation. I hear they're talking basketball and wrestling now these days, not just basketball over there. So and great tacos on either side. Take your pick.
I was gonna say you hear or you start the conversation. Which one?
No, Jay himself said that people are coming in talking about wrestling now because they know his son is 8th grade hammer for Thomas Hayward. So the word's getting out. People are. I'm telling you, wrestling's making it in the Lowcountry. Finally, we got something to rival basketball in the winter. Something to do on the nights you guys don't play. But thanks so much for joining us, fellas. We appreciate you, Coach Doc Archibald. You're always a fun guest. We enjoy having you. You can talk about anything. Thomas, great to see you, brother. We're proud of you with the honor roll. Great job. Keep up the good work, and we look forward to hearing you on some more broadcasts. Javon, keep doing your thing, baby. We love what you do with Beaver Tone and love having you on the shows with us. And Wes, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you. You're the best right-hand man anybody could ever have. Thanks so much to everybody who came along for the ride tonight. And if you're listening next day, join us live next time on the Loco Hoops Report. I'm Justin Jarrett for Wes Kerr, Javon Livingston, Thomas Erdl or Erdell? I always forget.
Erdell.
And Coach Doc Archibald. I'm Justin Jarrett. Till next time, go Loco.